Larry, Kyle.
Here.
Larry.
Here.
Scott. Mark.
Here.
Brian.
Here.
Danielle.
Here.
Jeremy.
Here.
Greg.
Here.
Jim. We have one.
Thank you. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I've got proof of publication in the Daily Record. Anyone desiring to speak on any item or issue not on the agenda or any item on the agenda that does not include a public hearing may do so, but shall be limited to 3 minutes. Persons should identify themselves by name and address. Persons speaking should not expect the Planning Commission to engage in back and forth dialogue regarding their comments. Unless an agenda item includes a public hearing, no person may speak during the business portion of the meeting, provided, however, persons speaking during a public hearing are limited to between 5 and 20 minutes. The public is advised that a copy of the Open Meetings Act is located on the north wall of the council chamber, and one copy of all reproducible written material to be discussed at this meeting is available for examination or copy. Thank you. And number item 6, approval of the agenda, which is made, I need a motion on the agenda. I would make a motion to approve. Brian, second.
Kyle, second.
Kyle, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Agenda, consent agenda. The consent agenda is made up of the minutes of last meeting, which is March 17th. I'd like a motion to approve the minutes, or that is correct?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Mark? Second. Greg. Greg, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Okay, item number 8.
Sorry, hold on real quick.
That's Mark and Greg.
Okay.
All right, item 8, I'll open the public hearing. 8A, Melvin Setback Home and Consideration Approval for application for a change of zoning and change of future land use map for the purpose of rezoning property for proposed development that will provide 2 multifamily and 328 single-family residential lots. Public comments? Okay. State your name and address, please.
My name is Tori Bannister. My address is 20244 Pinckney Street in Elkhorn. I am a property owner in King Lake, and I'm here as the president of the Property Owners Association of King Lake. I've got basically points of concern, and then a few questions, and then I will be done. Yes. First one, let's see here, is the potential concerns for King Lake residents include increased stormwater runoff. Even though it's farmland, much of the rainfall currently soaks into the soil and spreads across open ground. After development, there'll be hundreds of roofs, streets, driveways, sidewalks, and this can significantly increase the speed and volume of runoff entering surrounding drainage systems. Increased water levels in King Lake. If stormwater from the development ultimately drains toward King Lake, residents should determine whether water levels will rise faster after storms, whether developments to detention ponds are large enough, whether existing drainage systems can handle the additional runoff. We're losing loss of open flood storage. Agricultural fields often temporarily hold water during heavy rain events. Once developed, that temporary storage is reduced unless engineering detention facilities fully replace it. There's pressure on existing drainage infrastructure. Where does water from the development discharge? Does it enter King Lake? Does it enter existing drainage ditches? Will pumps be required? Who maintains them? There'll be increased traffic. A 328 lot subdivision plus multifamily housing can bring 700 to 1,000 additional residents, hundreds of additional vehicles. Some of the potential impacts: more congestion on King Lake Road, increased wear on local roads, longer emergency response times. There's an impact possibly on property values. Increased density, loss of open views, increased traffic and noise, changes to character of King Lake, utility and infrastructure costs. Will the sewer capacity be adequate? Water capacity, is it adequate? Future upgrades, will they be required? Existing taxpayers could ultimately bear some of these costs. There's construction impacts during the build out phase, increased truck traffic, dust, noise, mud on roadways, potential sediment entering drainage ditches. And, most importantly, where will all of the stormwater from the subdivision ultimately discharge? Will runoff from the developments increase water levels in King Lake? What are the existing and proposed runoff calculations? Will any fill be imported? If so, how much? What are the finished elevations compared to neighboring properties? Can the public review the drainage report before approval? And what guarantees exist that existing King Lake residents will not experience any increase in the runoff? As far as the actual questions, can you provide engineering documentation proving that this development will not increase flood elevation, water levels, or flood duration anywhere within the King Lake area during a 10-year, 50-year, or 100-year storm event? How many cubic yards of fill will be brought in onto the 115-acre site, and where will that displaced stormwater be stored or redirected? What are the existing runoff calculations for the farmland today versus the projected runoff after 328 single-family homes, roads, driveways, and multifamily units are constructed? Where will stormwater from the development ultimately discharge, and will any of that water enter King Lake, its drainage system, or connected waterways? What detention ponds, retention basins, drainage channels, pumps, culverts, or other stormwater facilities are being constructed, and who will be responsible for maintaining them in perpetuity? Has an independent third-party engineering review been performed on the drainage report and floodplain analysis, and will those reports be made available to the public before final approval? What impact will the development have on groundwater levels, drainage patterns, and existing properties surrounding King Lake during prolonged wet periods? What happens if the drainage system, pump station, detention ponds, or other stormwater infrastructure fail during a major rain event or when the Elkhorn River is at flood stage? If future flooding, drainage issues, or property damage occur as a result of this development, what legal and financial responsibilities will the developer accept, and what protections are being provided to existing King Lake residents? Will the developer commit to implementing any additional improvements necessary to protect King Lake, including drainage upgrades, backflow prevention, pumping capacity, outlet improvements, or dredging if future engineering studies show they are needed? Can the developer guarantee in writing and backed by engineering data that King Lake residents will experience no increase in flooding water levels, drainage problems, or flood duration as a result of this 330 unit development? I did receive a copy of the NRD's plat. I got that about an hour ago. So based on what I'm seeing and how it's worded, it's based on guesses and assumptions rather than backed by actual factual data. So in its current form, based on the information that's been provided to us so far, we, as a property owners association, I cannot get behind it. So if you want copies of these questions, I can provide them via email. So if I need to, I can get with Chris and send you guys all that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, members of the Valley Planning Commission. My name is Jim Lang. I'm an attorney at 8526 S Street. I represent the project and the developer in this particular matter, Melvin Sedbeck Homes, Inc. As you know, the project is located just north of Kings Lake Road and east of 252nd Street. This proposal is for a single-family residential subdivision consisting of 330 lots, 328 single-family lots, and 2 multi-family lots. We'd like to reserve 2 minutes for rebuttal in the event that we have any opposition. Josh Seal, engineer with Fuller Shad, is with me today. He's going to make some comments. The comment the individual made here just recently are very good comments. We did not have a neighborhood meeting, and maybe this is my fault. I guess I didn't realize that there was going to be this many concerns. We'd be certainly happy to meet with the neighbors, and that's my fault. We'd be certainly happy to meet with the neighbors on these concerns. We do have a traffic study, as you know. We have a drainage study as well, and we'd be happy to meet with the neighbors in that regard and address their concerns, because we want to be a good neighbor. We think this is going to be an outstanding subdivision that provides housing for the area, and we want to make sure we do it the right way and address these concerns. We don't want to have problems, not now or in the future, and we don't want to create problems for the adjoining property owners as well. We want to work with you, and we want to have this to be a good experience and a good subdivision. The request today is, first of all, change in the future land use plan map from low density residential to medium high density residential for R2 zoning, number one. Number two, rezone from transitional ag to R2 medium to high density residential. And number three, approve the preliminary plat for the subdivision consisting of 330 lots, 325 single family lots. And this will be done in 2 phases, so it's not going to be all done at the same time. The concept is to start building, once we get the first phase in, start building out these single family lots. There's no plan for the multifamily lots at this time. Eventually that would be addressed as the subdivision matures and develops. Referring to the future land use plan, in the recommendation report from the engineer, the future land use map was amended in 2018 for low density residential for this parcel and the lands east of 252nd Street. At that time, there was no public sanitary sewer or water in the area, public water in the area. So this type of development would have to have septics and wells, which would necessitate the low density residential. Now that Catalina is being developed to the west, they have brought in the water and sewer to this area, and so that would be extended into this subdivision. So we'd have all city water, sewer, power, and those type of things. So that would then justify going on the future land use map, going from low density residential to medium and high density residential, and that's set forth in Greg Perry's recommendation report in paragraph 2. Concerning the density going to R2, I know there's a concern there. We have 115 acres, 13 acres of multifamily, 102 acres of single family. We have about 3.2, about 3 houses per acre. We have a 17-acre lake in here, and we have another, I think, 15 acres of common area. So the density is less than it appears on the plat. It's about 3 to 3.2 houses per acre, or around 3 houses per acre. A lot of times these type of developments are in the area of 4 lots per acre for a single family residential development. The objective of this particular development is to provide affordable housing. And so with the more dense, smaller lots, the developer is hoping to come in at that 325 to 350 range to hit that market for a single family residential home. The lots are a little smaller. The houses are going to be a little smaller, but they'll have all the amenities with them. Some of the features is that we want to maintain as much recreational area as we can, looking at putting trails in. We do have a lake here. I think it's like a 17-acre lake. The lake will be a public lake for all the public. It's not going to be a private lake, so people from the whole area can enjoy the lake. It's going to be a lake with, it's not going to be for motorboats and those type of things. It's going to be like paddle boats, fishing lake, and those type of things. The lake will be maintained by the homeowners association. It'll be open to the public. Everybody, people outside of the subdivision can utilize the lake as well. There'll be a walking trail around the lake, so it's going to be able, so the public's going to be able to access the lake from the parking lot. Some of the features I mentioned are recreational features. Once again, we want to keep as many recreational features in this area as possible with the natural recreation area, especially to the east by Kings Lake there. We have 17-acre lake. We've got another, I think 15 acres of common ground, 15 to 20 acres of common ground that's going to be turned into recreational area. In the report, we're asking for a waiver of the 600-foot length on the street there. And we are agreeable to Greg Perry's recommendation on that, provide the 10-foot pedestrian easements under section 5.22. We also like to have the planning commission consider the 25-foot setback requirement. Once again, you have a 30-foot front yard setback requirement, the extra 5 feet. Obviously gives us some additional room for the, in effect, smaller lots and affordable housing concept that we're trying to go after in this area. We're trying to meet that market, that $325,000, $350,000 housing market in the area that we think is there. Looking at the recommendation report, we are agreeable to the comments in the recreation report. We can address those, including the traffic impact study and the drainage study as well. I have with me today Josh Seal with the comments that were made relative to the traffic impact study that's there and the drainage study that's been performed for the engineering firm. I'd like to have Josh just briefly address those because those are important issues. And once again, we'd be happy to meet with the property owners, show them whatever we have as far as our documentation goes, and address their concerns as we go forward on this thing as neighbors to the adjoining property owners. So those are my comments. I'm going to bring up Josh here if you can just briefly address the comments on the drainage and on the traffic study. Once again, we feel this is going to be a real asset to the area, and we'd like to have your consideration for our recommendation and approval. Once again, we are very willing to meet with the property owners and address their concerns on these particular issues. Thank you.
Good evening, Josh Seal with Foley Schald Engineering, 3930 South 147th Street, Omaha, Nebraska 68144. I guess just to quickly answer a few of the bigger questions that have come up so far here. The drainage for the proposed development is set up kind of like a bowl where all the proposed lots and streets would go towards that central lake, and that would act as the retention for the development. And so we ran, stormwater modeling for the 100-year event on that. And in all cases, it's reducing the runoff going to King Lake. As far as floodwaters go, if the pre-plat were to be approved, we would go through the FEMA LOMAR process where we would remodel that floodplain for the area and make sure there's no adverse impacts. I guess going into the traffic side of things, we've done full traffic study with Kimley Horn, who's a expert in traffic engineering. They've recommended turn lanes at King Lake and the proposed entrance off 252nd. Those would both be immediately built when the development starts, and then there would be future contributions to potential traffic signals in the area. So I guess I got one other point on the drainage. We would be proposing 20-foot ditch sections and easements along the north property line and then along the southwest lots, which would convey water out that came off backyards around those areas. So beyond that, I'd be happy to answer any other specific questions that anyone has.
When all the drainage going to the lake?
Yeah, so that's the idea, that all the proposed lots and streets would drain towards that central lake, and then it would retain the stormwater there.
Any questions?
The Central Lake is not part of King Lake right now, right?
No, it's,
So what you're
It doesn't
saying is you're
exist.
gonna build a ditch and hopefully have the water run into your ditch. But it's not gonna flow into King Lake or have any impact.
so all the proposed streets in the development would have storm sewer, which would all drain towards that new lake, which would be independent of King Lake, be right in the middle of the development, which would then retain stormwater. And then in the event of, a major storm event where overflow would go out of the pond, that would go east towards King Lake. But that has been modeled and it is reducing the existing condition.
I'm just having trouble with your verbiage when you say it's gonna, there's a lot of uncertainty in what you're saying. And that uncertainty in that type of development is a great concern. I mean, I know that you're gonna have to be very specific when you come back with your plat, but you're not giving me a warm fuzzy, based on the generalities of the way you're describing everything.
I can tell you that it's all the stormwater modeling for the site has been done professionally through engineers and through a modeling software that the city engineer has reviewed.
I would like to know, when I drive down 252nd, I look at how high Catalina is. Are you guys gonna build to that height, clear on the east end that abuts to King Lake? Because in my eyes, says it's gonna be 10 to 12 feet higher than King Lake. And my concern is, every time there's a flood, anyone that lives out here knows this, the water stays east of 252nd and it flows down to the south. And you guys, if you build up this dike, is what I'm gonna call it, it's gonna push that water east once it hits your dike that you built, and it's gonna go right into King Lake.
Or right down the middle. Between Catalina
That's
and.
that's my observation from living here 40 years. But there's people here that live here a lot longer than me. So,
Is there anyone here that's for the contractor? Is anybody here from Sudbeck who can speak to some of these things?
Well, Jim and I are here on behalf of Melvin, but Melvin couldn't be here tonight.
But, okay. I wish Melvin was here. I mean, he's the contractor. You guys are doing the, preliminary stuff, but, I'm having a problem with this. And I'm thinking these public meetings should be held before we do anything. And I don't know if I can do that or not. But I would like to delay both of these requests until such time as we've met with some of these people, you met with some of these folks. And I bring visual aids because you're talking about stuff that laymen don't have any idea what you're talking about. So I'd like to make a motion that we delay 8A and 8B until such time as you've met with those. That's my motion. And I don't know if I can do that?
So, well, I mean, we can proceed with the public hearings right now and hear everybody's comments, and then you don't have to take action.
Okay.
After everybody has talked and we've closed the hearings.
Okay.
That would be one way of handling
Make a
it.
motion to delay it.
Action.
Right.
You could delay action after the public hearings are had.
Okay.
If you want to reschedule the public hearings, so that we come back and we have additional testimony and comments, you could do that too. but then I think we have to republish the notice of the hearings.
Oh, yeah.
That would be a total do-over, whereas the first option is we would proceed with the hearing, close the hearing. I think I don't have the agenda in front of me, but I think there's 2 public hearings, right? One on the zoning change and the other on the preliminary plat approval. So we could proceed with the hearings and then you just don't take action. You would take action at the next meeting.
Well, it's either that or we deny them both.
Or you deny, you can do that too.
But I guess I'd like to have a chance to talk to these folks and see if there's any avenue to not do that.
Yeah, right, right.
Like I said, I was remiss in not, I didn't realize there's gonna be objection, I guess. And, I'm sorry about that, but, you know, we'll be glad to meet with the property owners. All the technical data that we have, share it with them, address their concerns, and then, you know, go from there.
Jim, so what would be your preference? Do you want to continue with the hearing portions or do you want a total do-over where we
I think
publish
we
the
would-
hearings again?
I think we'd like to have probably continue it at this point in time, give us an opportunity to address these concerns, because they're valid concerns and they've come up. And we don't have all the documentation maybe right now to sit down and do it at the time right now. So our preferred would be to continue it right now, lay it over, and then have set up a meeting with the property owners here in the next week or 2.
So you,
And so forward that way.
so you want to renotice the public hearings?
Correct, yeah. That would give us an opportunity to address the property owners' concerns and for the property owners to address the concerns with us.
Okay, I'd like to hear from the public on something we haven't already heard from, you know, the gentleman from King Lake and stuff. We don't need to rehash
I'll go.
blood and all that again.
I have pictures and proof that what that guy was saying is all a lie. Proof is in.
Well, Jim, this would be for the public. This would be for the meeting that you're gonna have with these folks. We know what you've got there,
Oh, yeah.
but it needs to go to these folks here before it comes
Yes,
back to
we've-
us.
I've been through 7 floods since I've lived here I've been here, 58 years old. So I've been here just a couple years. Been with Douglas County for 31 years. I've been through 5 floods. Most of them with King Lake and down further State Street and everything else. The problem is you're building all these properties up so high.
Jim,
Our
I
drainage.
don't mean to shut you off, but we all know that.
Oh, I just want to make sure this guy's not gonna just walk in here and start building.
We're trying to handle that.
Okay.
Is there anybody has anything to add besides what's been covered?
I have a question on what, that maybe you can answer. How, 2 multifamily dwellings, how big or what do you envision those multifamily dwellings being? They're not gonna be apartments, are
So it's 230 units is what they're calling it.
That's a part.
they? 230 units? Well,
330
it's-
homes,
it's written-
240 units.
2 multifamily and 328 single family. So how big is, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Is
I
it a
mean,
complex or is it
Their
a
concept shows-
apartment complex? There you're
Their
at.
concept does show apartment complexes and townhouses.
Yeah, that's what, I mean,
That's the two.
we got burnt,
That's
we
the
got
200.
burnt the same, you know, I know what that's gonna lead into. So, I mean, addressing it as multifamily instead of saying what it is you're gonna put in, kind of concerns me again about little integrity and a little,
The only other question I had, I'm sorry, is this is Waterloo's emergency. Valley cannot respond to it. That is Waterloo's. That whole area, no, I'm just saying if you talk to Travis Harlow, that's in his fire district. So how do you take all them out of there? And then maybe Valley can help, but that's another problem. The streets aren't wide enough. I can barely make it down with the motor grader. And you think what I do, and I do this every day, I drive that road every day. There's twice as much semis as I've ever seen before. And the roads aren't wide enough, the ditches aren't big enough, everything isn't big enough, and I can tell you straight up. And I'm just being honest.
Thank you.
And you guys can keep on looking at the book, and when you're done, just give it to me later.
Ma'am, did you have something, you wanted to add something, Lou? Yeah, come
I
over
think
here.
it's new.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Please state your name and address so John invited you.
Hi, Marion Perkins. I live at 400 West Make Street, so the opposite direction. But in the last 12, 13 years that I've lived there, with the growth, with the lake homes to the west of me, and what's going on up by King Lake and Loves, and the traffic has gotten horrendous. It already is. You know, the addition by 3M's at a standstill. The addition over by the dentist office is at a standstill. And I don't know about that other one down by Flatwater, that other new one. But traffic is horrible, trying to get off at 275 onto 252nd. I almost got wiped out the other day because those big haulers that are hauling those side dumps, they come barreling up there and they don't slow down for nothing, you know? And if you're already out in the road, they're on your ass by the time you even know they're there. So that's my concern. I don't think Valley can handle an addition like this at this point. You know, do we have timelines for these developments to be started and finished by? Are they gonna sit there empty for next 10, 15 years? Timber Shores was mostly built within a couple of years. And I mean, I watched it, you know, and there's a few lots here and there that straggled along. And same with Blue Water. I mean, they went in there, boom, 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 and they got the stuff done. And the truckers that work in those areas, I remember when they started with Blue Water, them big trucks weren't supposed to come down Meg Street. Well, it's an everyday affair now. And they're not driving 25 miles an hour like they're supposed to, because they're driving 50 to get down past 279th farther west. So that's my concern. Like to know how you're gonna handle traffic. Because you know, I've not seen anybody out here doing traffic, what do you call it? Surveying or anything like that. And the thing is, water goes downhill and water's gonna find a low spot anywhere, so that's my 2 cents.
Thank you. Any more, anything new?
I hope so. My name is Shawn Way, and I live at 6303 North 252nd Street. So my property literally will be surrounded and engulfed by this. I have equine, I have a horse rescue. So when I look at the plans literally, their backyards are to my back fence. I will have an entrance on the east side of my fence line, as well as my north side, where they're now speaking of a turning lane. And I had to have my barn, you know, it had to be, to get an approved permit, it had to be 2 foot added, 2 to 2.5 or 3 foot added. So the concern of flooding for me as well, and all the water, where is it gonna go? That's obviously a big point, but then am I gonna have people's backyards and they're gonna complain about my horse manure smelling or my horses smelling, or am I gonna worry about kids coming over and getting hurt in my pasture? You know, we move out into the country for a reason, and you hope that it stays that way for a while, the peace and quiet. So, I mean, there's a lot of concerns to have, I think. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Yes.
One last question. Has anybody talked to
No one's ever come to talk to me.
public safety on this, the fire, and to see what impact this is gonna have? That little comment that was brought up really concerns me.
We certainly will address that as part of it.
No, I mean, you will address, I can't believe you've been working on this for so long that you haven't at least asked the question and have some kind of answer so that, I mean, logic dictates that's gonna be a concern. And, sorry.
I represent Waterwood Fire as well, so we're concerned about.
Well,
those
so
things.
you're the fire chief.
Not the attorney for the.
Okay.
fire department.
Could I say one more thing? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Absolutely.
I'm home all the time. I work from home. No one has ever come to my house to ask me any questions or how I felt about all this or nothing. I've not seen anyone, so.
You did
I
get,
find that,
you did get notified though.
I did get in the mail, yes.
That's just
Like
the
2 days ago.
process.
Yes,
That's how
yeah,
it starts.
I got it 2 days ago or 3 days ago.
That's when we got ours too, so don't.
Yeah, don't worry, I got mine.
Yeah.
2 days.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah.
Sure.
Andrew.
My name's Keith Bressler. I live at 6620 North 246th Street. I'm not a seasoned veteran, but I've lived here a year now. I think a point that hasn't been mentioned is that King Lake is, we all know this, it's dry, right? It's an ephemeral lake. It only fills up if there's an extreme event, right? So it's gonna spill over during an extreme event, right? The King Lake, what gives them the right for King Lake to be a runoff? Isn't King Lake private property? It's not right of way. It's not a drainage ditch. So did you guys buy King Lake? Is that section of the Crescent, is that now acquiesced by this company? I don't know. And by extension, I actually own a part of King Lake. It's not listed as that, but I have an old part of the Oxbow. And mine is ephemeral too. It fills up in high rainfall. So am I going to be affected by this spillover when we get 3 inches of rain or 4 inches of rain? Is my pond going to come up 4 feet instead of 2? Am I going to have a flood water in my backyard every time we get a heavy rain that pond spills over? I think these are legitimate concerns. So, and also it doesn't flow to the Elkhorn River. One side of it is cut off. It's half and another half. And somebody can correct me if I'm wrong.
You're
But-
correct.
So there's 2 halves of it. It butts up. There's not just a smooth transition to the Elkhorn River. And that side, there's only one side that would be affected. And it will fill up, I'm sure of it. So.
They don't affect both sides.
No, it affects both sides.
It's got
Wait a
a
minute,
culvert
wait a
pipe on
minute.
it.
There is a culvert? Okay, thank you for the correction.
It'll
But,
affect both sides. Yeah, that's flood.
okay, that's all I got. Thank you.
No, it's open, barely.
You have to come up here and sign in. Yeah. Again, hopefully we haven't covered it already.
My name is Ed Noyes. We live at 6556 Northwest 252nd Street. The sign for sale of the land is right across from our entry. So we've lived there since we homesteaded that property back in the 1890s. I'm concerned about the procedural aspects because I heard about this. I got my mail, I think last week, maybe Wednesday or something. My sister, who lives right up the road, just got hers like 2 days ago. Yesterday, I talked to the city administrator, I think it was Thursday. It's my understanding that this is all preliminary, that nothing major can happen here today.
This is a preliminary plat on changing a future use map, which right now is transitional ag. And then the next thing is approval of preliminary plat. Those both recommendations go to whatever we decide here goes to the city council. The city council makes the final decision.
But there could potentially be a vote today of your recommendations. And if those recommendations are favorable, then the city council
But
will
the
vote.
preliminary plat is just preliminary.
On
When
there.
they do the final plat, it comes through us again and goes to the city council for the final vote. There's a lot of steps. A lot of steps.
Well, I hope so. I know how these things go, because once you take a certain action, it gets a little entrenched, and then the next party says, well, they said it was fine, and then they do it. I do understand that if 20% of the landowners within 300 feet of the development protest this, that it requires a 3/4 vote of the city council for it to be approved. This confirmed to me by the city administrator.
No, that wasn't.
That's not correct?
That's, I'm not, I wasn't aware of that. I said I
Who's
was,
got to have a quorum?
yeah.
Okay, well, that's my understanding. And we are prepared to do that. We've got petitions that have already been prepared, but we came here today to find out what was going on.
Right, that's why we're having a meeting.
No, I really appreciate that. Now, from a practical matter, I came back from Fremont this afternoon. I could barely get on the road after taking that exit there. There's already so much traffic. I mean, I had to like wait. And cars are coming this way, and that's not even coming off 275. And I gotta take a left, and all this traffic is gonna get directed.
Was that Mallard Landing? You're coming off that?
No, just the normal exit from Fremont at the Meg Street exit. And I'm trying to take a left, and there's so much traffic that I can barely take a left. I had to speed, and this guy's pissed at me because I had to get the heck out of there. And that's before any of this and before the Catalina development gets going.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a serious problem.
See, that's one of the concerns I have is because right now we've approved 440 homes with Champion Shores, Catalina, Valley Landing, and Stillwater. I don't know what's going to happen to Stillwater because it's for sale. So that's one of the concerns I have is we've already approved these.
And then I saw the thing when it came to me, 2 multi-residential and 300 some homes. I go, okay, well, that's only 2. Then when I talked to the city administrator, no, it's 300 and some multi-residential. And then I come today, instead of 2, it's 300 and some. And then today there's a 200 and some figure being floated around.
560 lots.
Huh?
It's 2 lots.
Well, it makes it look like there's only gonna be 2. A couple of apartments and that's it, but it's actually over 300 multi-residential units, according to the city administrator who told me this on Thursday, I believe.
Yeah, it's on the projected, something 300.
300.
Plus the 240 units, other units, which would be the apartments.
That's Valley Shores.
So it's over 600 units total. Is that my understanding, correct?
What's that?
Over 600 units total.
560.
That's not what I was told, but that's still a lot of units.
That's why we have.
So I'm gonna ask for time. We need time, just learning this stuff. I was also told that I could get on the city website and find all this, and I couldn't. I tried, I couldn't find it.
I don't know.
I tried.
It's 620.
So there we go. It's 620 units. We don't even, nobody here barely knows how many units there's gonna be. Anyway, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, thanks.
Another
Boy,
2,000.
this was fun.
This one is good. Something new, Jim?
Yes, Jim Thiessen Jr., 7506 North 285th Circle. First, I'd like to know who's backing subject on this.
Well, we can't get into that.
Okay,
We can't get into that.
Because there's a
That's
history.
part of the city administration's job.
and then,
I have the same concerns.
but the other question would be, and to just piggyback, I don't know if you guys can do this, if you agree to this, there should be no more apartments in this community. And there should be none of the single family homes. But you start duplexing every plot out there. Do you understand our infrastructure is just getting built, trying to keep up, which we're not gonna have enough. And secondly, has anybody thought about what it's gonna do to the school? The school's gonna start adding on again too. So this snowballs. I'm not blind to the fact that this is coming. We are aware of this. Our city is gonna grow. We can't stop it. But we gotta be very smart on how we approach this.
Thanks, Jim.
Hey, Jim. Thanks, Jim.
Well done. This is pretty good.
Like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of questions to be answered, and we'd be happy to be with them. We can either proceed in 2 ways. We can withdraw the application right now and set up a meeting with the property owners, or if our board preferred this to continue, I don't know, whatever.
So you're withdrawing both of these?
We could either withdraw both of them, have a neighborhood meeting, and then resubmit, or if the planning commission would prefer, we can leave it and continue it, whatever the planning commission would prefer.
I think you ought to withdraw both.
Okay, we would then go ahead and withdraw both of them right now, and then we'll set up a meeting with the neighbors and go through this with,
Work with Mike on the location and all that stuff.
Yes.
I'll be there. Let me know I'll be there.
we will have a meeting set up in the next couple weeks, 30 days, whatever, and we'll be ready to go.
Sure. Greg, you'll be there.
Greg, you'll be there. I'll leave you out, Greg.
So at this time, we'll withdraw the application for the two items on the agenda, and we'll set up a meeting with the neighbors and work through the city on that. Once again, appreciate the time for the planning commission tonight. Apologize for bringing it out tonight without having everything exactly laid down. But we'll continue to address it and work with the neighbors on this. Thank you.
Is there anybody else have something? I don't want to send folks out.
All right.
We got one more, Mark.
Oh,
I'll be brief. Lori Lasser, I'm with the Papio Missouri River Natural Resources District, and we echo some of the concerns here. And so I just want to say that we would recommend delay of any approval and would be willing to participate in any meetings to address any of the flooding concerns.
Well, we would like to comment.
Yes.
I'll
Thank
take
you
it.
to the board for that.
Thank you.
All right. You should have been first. Both items are withdrawn. I guess we're done.
all right.
Wait, Mark. We have to. Poor Mark. It's gotta be a vote. We're all coming to your house. We're all coming to your house. You know that.
I gotta pick up what's her name.
Sorry, you guys had to come.
Okay, I move that we adjourn.
I'll second.
Second by Mark. All in favor, say aye. Aye. But today, you just stay here.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
Did you have fun?
Oh,
Yeah.
I think they do everything we like to see.
All right, Mike, I'll see you tomorrow.